I just spent 48 hours in the most expensive neighborhood in Qatar, and by hour 36, I was ready to leave. Then this happened. Let me explain why everyone gets the Pearl wrong. Okay, so here's the setup. The Pearl is Qatar's answer to Monaco. Artificial island, luxury apartments, designer stores, yacht clubs. Everyone calls it Qatar's Riviera. And I'm spending 48 hours here to answer one question. Is this place actually worth visiting? Or is it just rich people showing off? Because here's the thing. Every travel video about Qatar shows you the Pearl for like 30 seconds, says, wow, so fancy, and moves on. But nobody actually stays here. Nobody explores it properly. Nobody tells you what it's actually like to spend real time in this place. So I booked a hotel, cleared my schedule, and committed to 48 hours. No cheating, no leaving, just the Pearl. And I'll tell you right now, my opinion completely changed halfway through. Alright, first impressions. It's pretty, like objectively pretty. Waterfront views, palm trees, luxury yachts, Instagram perfect architecture. But here's what hits you immediately. It's empty, like weirdly empty. There are all these high-end restaurants and cafes, but nobody's in them. It's 2 p.m. on a Thursday, perfect weather, and I've passed maybe 15 people total. So I grab lunch at this Italian place right on the water, La Veranda. Everyone recommends it. The food? Actually good, like genuinely good pasta. But here's where it gets weird. I'm the only person eating here. The entire restaurant. Just me, 5 waiters, and a view of empty yachts. And it cost me $85 for pasta, a drink, and dessert, which I don't know how to feel about yet. After lunch, I do what everyone does. I walk around, take photos of the architecture, look at the luxury stores I can't afford. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Rolex, every designer brand you can imagine, all right here. And here's the honest truth. I didn't go in a single one. Not because I'm too cool for luxury shopping, but because it felt pointless. Like if I want to buy Gucci, I can do that anywhere. Why would I fly to Qatar for it? By hour 4, I'm starting to think this might be a very boring 48 hours. Okay, so it's around 6 p.m. I've been wandering for hours and I'm about to head back to my hotel. Then I take a wrong turn down this side street away from the main marina. And suddenly, there are people, like actual crowds. Qatari families, expats, residents. All these cafes I didn't know existed, all packed. Turns out there's this whole section of the Pearl that tourists never see because it's not on the waterfront. It's called Canat Cartier, the Venetian section. And the vibe is completely different. The coffee here, $3. The restaurants, actual normal prices. The people, locals, not tourists. I start chatting with the guy who runs this cafe, and he basically tells me, yeah, the marina is for tourists and Instagram. This is where people actually live. And that changed everything. Because suddenly I'm seeing a different Pearl. Actual grocery stores, kids playing in courtyards, residents walking their dogs. There's this one spot, this bridge where the canal curves, where you get the perfect view of the colored buildings at sunset. And there's nobody here. No tourists, no influencers, just this quiet moment watching the sky turn orange behind pastel-colored buildings. This is what I came for. By 9 p.m., I'm back in the main Porto Arabia area, and now it makes sense. Now the restaurants are full, now there are people everywhere, because that's when locals come out after the heat of the day. I grabbed dinner at this seafood place, and for the first time today, I feel like I'm experiencing something real. Day 1 verdict? The Pearl is 2 places. The tourist version? Overrated. The local version? Actually interesting. Alright, day 2. I wake up stupidly early because I want to test something. If evenings are when locals come out, what's it like in the morning? And honestly, this might be the best time to visit. The entire marina to yourself. Perfect light for photos. Cool temperature, no crowds. I spend an hour just walking around taking photos, and I see maybe 3 other people. Then I find this little cafe that opens at 7 a.m., run by this Egyptian guy who's been here for 15 years. And he tells me something interesting. The Pearl isn't for tourists. It's not even really for Qataris. It's for expats and wealthy residents who want to feel like they're in Europe without leaving the Gulf, which actually explains everything. The Pearl isn't trying to be authentic Qatar. It's not trying to show you local culture. It's literally designed to feel like Monaco or the French Riviera. And once you understand that, it either clicks or it doesn't. Alright, let's talk money, because this is expensive. Here's what 48 hours in the Pearl actually cost me. Hotel. I stayed at a mid-range place, not the fancy Kempinski. $320 for 2 nights. Food. Averaging about $60 per meal at waterfront restaurants. That's $180 per day if you eat 3 meals. Over 48 hours, $360. Activities. There aren't really activities here. You walk, you shop, you eat. I spent maybe $50 on miscellaneous stuff. Total, about $730 for 48 hours. Now, is that worth it? Here's where I'm conflicted. If you eat at the local spots in Qanat Cartier instead of Porto Arabia, cut that food budget in half. If you come for a morning walk and sunset instead of staying here, free. If you skip the overpriced marina restaurants, you can experience 90% of the Pearl for almost nothing. But the reason to spend money here, to actually stay here, is if you want that luxury resort feeling without leaving Doha. And here's my controversial take. By hour 36, I was ready to leave. I'd seen everything, done everything, and I was getting bored. The Pearl is beautiful, but it's not real. It's a bubble. A very expensive, very pretty bubble. But here's the thing that changed my mind. I found this little park area on the opposite side of the island. No tourists, just Qatari families having picnics, kids playing, people exercising. And I realized, for residents, the Pearl is worth it. It's their escape, their Mediterranean fantasy, their answer to not having easy access to European beaches and lifestyle. But for tourists, for someone visiting Qatar for a week, here's my honest verdict. The Pearl is worth visiting, but not worth staying in. Come for a morning, walk the marina, get coffee in Qanat Cartier, watch the sunset from that hidden bridge I showed you. But sleeping here, eating every meal here, that's where the value disappears. Because for the price of 2 nights at the Pearl, you could stay in a nice hotel in West Bay or the Corniche, visit the Pearl for free during the day, and still have money left over for actual experiences. The Pearl is gorgeous, it's clean, it's safe, it's everything you'd want in a luxury neighborhood. But it's also artificial, empty during the day, and insanely expensive for what it actually offers. Is it worth the hype? No. Is it worth visiting? Yes. Is it worth 48 hours? Absolutely not. 4 to 6 hours? That's the sweet spot. Alright, here's everything you actually need to know if you're visiting the Pearl. Best time to visit. Early morning 6 to 8 a.m. or evening 6 to 9 p.m. Midday is dead and hot. Where to actually eat? Skip Porto Arabia restaurants. Go to Qanat Cartier for half the price and better atmosphere. Free activities. Walk the marina, best at sunrise. Bridge photo spot in Qanat Cartier. The park area on the north side. Families hang out here. Window shopping the luxury stores. Hey, it's free. What to skip? Overpriced waterfront restaurants during lunch. The yacht tours. They're not worth it. Staying overnight. Unless you have money to burn. Hidden spots I found. The early morning cafe run by the Egyptian guy. Opens 7 a.m. The bridge view at sunset. 0 crowds. The local residential cafes, actual normal prices. And one more thing, if you want the Pearl experience without the Pearl prices, come here around 7 p.m. Park for free, walk the marina, grab coffee at a local cafe, watch the sunset, leave. You just experienced 80% of what the Pearl offers, and it cost you $5 for coffee. So I spent 48 hours in Qatar's Pearl to see if it's worth the hype. And the answer is complicated. It's absolutely beautiful. It's clean, safe, and honestly impressive for an artificial island in the middle of the desert. But it's not authentic Qatar. It's not real culture. It's not even that interesting beyond the first few hours. It's a very expensive, very pretty Instagram backdrop that's most enjoyable when you visit briefly and leave. The people who love the Pearl, they're residents who live here and use it as their daily escape. And for them, it makes sense. But if you're a tourist with limited time in Qatar, you have better options. Visit the Pearl for a morning or an evening. Take your photos, enjoy the walk, then go experience actual Qatar. All right, controversial question for you. Would you spend $730 for 48 hours here? Or would you rather explore real Doha for a fraction of the price? Drop your opinion in the comments. And if you've been to the Pearl, tell me, did you love it or feel the same way I did? Hit subscribe if you want honest travel content that doesn't just show you the Instagram version. I've got more Qatar videos coming, and trust me, the next location is way more interesting than this. See you there.